Hey coin collectors, and welcome to the DC Coin World International Coin Channel, and it's the 2022 Maya Angelou Quarter, and you see Maya Angelou over here on the right. This is the back of the quarter, and over here on the left is the obverse of the quarter with George Washington facing to the right. Now today I want to talk about how sometimes a coin comes out and you just don't see that it's going to be hugely valuable. All the other coins come out. There were 5 American women's coins that came out in 2022, and this one is just really, really valuable. And the way that you determine value when you're collecting coins is by how many people want them and by how many there are. So in this case, a lot of people wanted a high-end Maya Angelou Quarter, and so the prices are really high. And we're going to talk about that as we go through. We're going to talk about the PCGS grading system and what the grading system says about these quarters as we continue in this video. And on the back of this coin, when we flip it over, you see it says United States of America at the top, Maya Angelou here, E pluribus unum. Right down here, you see there's some initials. This coin on the back was engraved by Emily Damstra and Craig Campbell. So we have a couple initials right there. This ESD for Emily Damstra. And over here we have Craig A. Campbell. E pluribus unum says $quarter. And then in the center is the beautiful part of the coin. And it's a black woman holding her arms out with these rays of light flying around the top, and then there's a bird behind her to symbolize Maya Angelou's book, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. The Maya Angelou Quarter was the first of the American Women's Series quarters. The American Women's Series quarter started in 2022. It's going to go until 2025, so it's a 4-year program. There are 5 quarters per year, and they range anywhere from Eleanor Roosevelt to Sally Ride, to Wilma Mankiller, to Edith Kanaka Ole, Nina Otero Warren. There's just all different women from all walks of life on the back of these quarters. Maya Angelou is a great author and poet, has this really, really famous book called I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, which is just a beautiful writing and just an awful, in some ways an awful story, but in some ways a really empowering story. Let's take a look at how many quarters they made and what they're worth. At the Philadelphia Mint, you're going to find the quarters with a P on them, like this one here, and you can see the P on this quarter. This is the front of all of the quarters will look the same, and when you look right down here, you won't see the old JF that's at the bottom of the old Washington quarters. You'll see an LGF here, and that's for Laura Garden Fraser, who engraved this coin. She actually did this engraving back in the 30s, but it was brought back for the American Women's Series quarters. And then if you look at this one, it has the D on it. At the Denver Mint in 2022, we don't really have the mintages, and so we just don't know exactly how many, certainly hundreds of thousands. At the Denver Mint, the most expensive one that they've sold so far is a Mint State 68, which sold at auction in 2022 on eBay for $510. A Mint State 65, this coin is worth about $12. A Mint State 68 from the PCGS grading service doesn't have a value on it, but let's assume it's going to be somewhere between $12 and $500. At the Philadelphia Mint with the P Mint mark, we don't know how many they made here. But we know that there's one that was sold at an eBay auction for $2,375 in a Mint State 67 plus. At a Mint State 65, PCGS says they're worth $10. At a Mint State 67, they're worth $30. There's 3 other quarters that they made. They also made a circulating S quarter in 2022. You could only get it from the U.S. Mint, and you had to buy it in rolls. They called them P, D, and S rolls. Each roll contained 40 coins, and they cost $54 for the 3 rolls. So essentially you had 120 coins, 40 with the P, 40 with the D, and 40 with the S. And instead of paying $30, which you'd pay for a normal roll of quarters, 3 normal rolls of quarters, you paid $54. They also made these at the San Francisco Mint as proof coins. So they made the regular proof coin, And that the auction record for one of those is $125. And they made the silver proof coin with an S on it. The auction record for that is $75. And if you just get the S, which was in the rolls from the San Francisco Mint, a Mint State 65 is worth $8, and a Mint State 67 is worth $35. So they're out there. They're very expensive. It seems to me that the market right now is really on eBay rather than any place else. And it's hard to trust completely eBay costs, eBay values. But for right now, that's all we have. So when you see that one sold from the Philadelphia Mint for $2,375, you take it with a grain of salt. And you also take it with a grain of salt because it was labeled as a Mint State 67 plus, and it wasn't graded at PCGS or at NGC as far as I can tell. All right, well, that's all we have today from DC Coin World International Coin Channel. We'd love to have you subscribe to the channel and leave any comments you have in the comment section.